Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele-Fash. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. Anyways, welcome back to another interesting episode. I just want to say a very big thank you to as many who have been coming back to watch my videos. It's been amazing. I know that views has dropped tremendously in a while now, but thank you for always coming back. Thank you for always supporting my channel. I do not take it for granted. For as many of you that share my content on your Instagram stories, and to your friends and family, I am so grateful. God bless you so very much. So today I want to talk to us about how to keep the spark alive in your newly wedded marriage. If there's anything like that. Yeah, so this is particularly for people who are about to get married or people who are just married, and they are wondering how to keep the spark alive, how to keep the relationship alive. Because you see, there's the dating phase and there's the marriage phase. I learned very quickly that sometimes when you get into marriage, a lot of things change, right, from when you were dating. Dating is never marriage. Even if you were cohabiting at the time, when you get married, there's a kind of finality that comes with marriage that sometimes makes us to exhibit certain traits, right? And sometimes that can be very detrimental to marriages. So I've been seeing posts on social media recently of people who are like 6 months married, 3 months married, less than a year married, and they are already tired of the marriage, already wondering like I think I married the wrong person. I'm telling you, I've seen like 3 posts on social media in the community that I followed, people saying that I got married, it's been 6 months, I got married, it's been 3 months, and I'm already tired, I feel like I made the wrong choice and all of that. And to be honest, right, I have been there, right? When you move from the dating phase and you get into marriage and you think, oh my god, who is this person that I married? What's going on? How come this person has this habit? How did I miss this? How did I miss that? Right? And sometimes it can really create panic and fear in the heart of people, and wonder if this is the rest of my life, right? So this is what I have been able to inculcate, and has helped me through my first, second, third year of marriage, and we are about to celebrate our 3rd year anniversary. Actually, what's today's date? 8th. Okay, so that was yesterday. So in a month's time we'll actually be celebrating our 3 years anniversary. So we've actually done 3 years in this journey, and yeah, we'll be starting our 4th year. So yeah, I think I can give a little bit of advice on how to help to keep the spark from your dating years in your marriage years. Okay, all right, so without talking too much, let's get right into it. All right, so the first thing that I have here is I saw something on social media which I thought was so good, that the person talked about one of the things that kills marriage and relationships very quickly. The person said laziness. And it's so true. Initially when I saw laziness, I'm like, what do you mean laziness? And laziness is not necessarily the fact that you're not doing anything physically, like I was saying. It's in the things that you stop doing, the things that you used to do when you were dating, the pecking in the head when you go to sleep, the calling all nights that we usually have, the long conversations and all of those things. Sometimes you get lazy and you just stop doing those things anymore. You become the provider, and this is not just for the man, even for the woman. All the little things you used to do. You used to buy him gifts, you used to peck him every now and then, tap his ass when he's working, when he's walking around, flirt with him and all of those things. You stop doing them because for some reason you've gotten carried away. Or maybe your wedding night you got pregnant. A lot of things has happened, or you guys are facing some financial challenges and difficulties that comes in marriages, and you just for some reason you stop doing those things. You see, laziness is one of the major reasons why a lot of marriages go south, because we become lazy in doing the things, the little things, right? So we become more energetic in doing the big things like providing and cooking and cleaning the house and all of those things. But the little things like tickling her or tickling him here and there, making fun of him, sending pictures that does not have your faces in it, the romancing, the little things that makes you guys excited and makes you fall in love with each other, you stop doing those things. That's one of the reasons. So I always advise newlyweds, don't take advantage, don't become lazy, right? Don't become lazy in your first year of marriage. I think for us, there were certain things that were just we entered into marriage, and marriage was kicking our hearts. It was kicking our ass right, left and center. It was giving us bad boosts. You know, we're really facing a lot of challenges, from financial challenges to, you know, at a point health challenges, at a point career challenges. It was just getting really bad, especially in the first few months of marriage, and everything was happening at the same time. And at a point it was really exhausting. Like, you're trying to settle this issue or sort out this challenge, you don't even remember that, you know, it's been a while that you guys kissed, or it's been a while that you guys held hands together. At times we are walking on the road, we're not even touching each other. Like, you see, those little things just stop, right? Before you know, you realize that it's been a long time you guys actually took those long walks that you used to take when you were dating. That's one of the big, you know, one of the major reasons why you start to get tired in your first year of marriage, and 1 year starts to feel like you've been married for 20 years, because you just feel something is off. And it's because, you know, one or two of you have become lazy in that marriage. Okay, now the next thing that I have here is that and the second thing is, don't take each other for granted. Yes, don't take yourselves for granted. And this is so true in, you know, a lot of newlyweds. And you see, people always think that it's the older you get in marriage, the more you start to have these problems. But you see, it happens even in newlyweds. So you're dating, everything, you know, I'm always at your beck and call, or he's always at your beck and call. He's always in your mind. You're always thinking about him when you guys were dating. But all of a sudden you get married, and it's like, oh, what you are chasing, you've already found it. So now you have to focus on career, you focus on this, you focus on that, and you totally neglect the person, her feelings, you know, his emotions, his wants, his needs, because now you're trying to build a future for your children. You forget that it's a human being that you got married to. Right? So don't take each other for granted. Don't take her emotions for granted. Don't take his feelings for granted. When you're dating, right? And I think this is so true for a lot of people dating. When you're dating and you're really serious about marrying the person, when they make complaints, you know, one or two about certain things you're doing, you try to make changes, right? You put in effort to become better, because you don't want to lose the person, because you know there's a possibility that this person might leave you if you don't put in the effort. But then you get married, and the person is, you know, telling you about something you're doing that they don't like, and you're like, this is who I am, take me as I am, this is who I am, you saw me before you married me, this is who I am. And then you don't even, and that's the thing, we know everyone has their own excesses, right? We're all humans, there's no one who is perfect. But what we are looking for is an effort. Like, make an effort to actually make me feel like you care about the things that I care about, the things that worries me. I want to see that you're actually trying to be a better person. But when you start to take their feelings for granted, you call them a nag, you say everything I do, you're always complaining, you don't even care about me. And you forget that the reason why they are even complaining to begin with is because they care. Because when somebody doesn't care about you, especially a woman, she does not, what if you like, walk on your head. She doesn't really care, right? So you need to make sure that you don't take each other for granted. Make sure that you pay attention to your relationship as much as you did when you were dating. You pay attention to your marriage as much and even more than you did when you were dating, because now it's a for life thing, right? And there's a tendency that, you know, people will get scared that, is this how the rest of my life is going to be? So you want to make sure that you put a mind at peace that, okay, I know you don't like this, I'm going to get better, and all of that, right? Another thing I said here is I think I've also talked about this, like, pay attention to your feelings, pay attention to how they're feeling, not just what they're saying. Pay attention to the signals, to the things that they are not saying. And see, I know we always say, oh, women always expect men to know what they are thinking, but I think even for men, sometimes you guys also do the same, right? Every human would like for someone to know what they're about to, what they think without them having to say it. Every human would like that, okay? However, we don't have the ability to read minds, but that does not mean that we don't try, okay? Not try to read minds, because it's humanly impossible. But you can read expressions, you can read non-verbal signals, you can read their body language, you can see when something is off. You can notice when, you know, like for instance, my husband, right, when, you know, we're together, when even sometimes maybe I'm passing through something and I'm not telling him, he can sense that something is off. Maybe I know this has happened several times, like maybe he's working in the living room or something and I pass by and I don't touch his face, or I don't peck him as I move, or I don't do anything. He might make it pass for once, but if it happens like twice, 3 times, he knows something is off, or something is in my mind, or something is bothering me. So those are the things that you signal. You can't tell me that your wife, who is usually happy, you know, playing music, dancing, listening to messages and all of those things, all of a sudden she became moody, she became she became withdrawn and all of that, and you did not notice, or you think, oh, she's going through a phase, oh, she's in her menstrual period, oh, it's a hormonal thing, oh, she will come back to herself. You don't even try to understand what is going on with her. And the same thing with him, your husband, who would normally take you out on dates, who would normally like have, you know, make jokes in the house, who would normally, you know, make you laugh, you know, do things for you around the house. Suddenly he stopped doing those things. And most times it's not suddenly, it starts little by little. But you see, when we start to neglect the signs that something is off with them, and we don't try to find out what's going on, then it becomes a problem. So when you see those things happening, try to, without them having to ask, you know, try to understand, because to them, then it feels like, oh, this person cares about me. I don't need to say something. Like if my husband comes back and is moody, or, you know, maybe when he comes back from work, I go to meet him and, you know, it's not just giving me the normal way he would, you know, the vibe he would normally give me. I know something was off. So I ask him, what's up? What happened at work today? How was work today? Work was fine. Okay, something is off. I noticed this and that, and he'll be like, sometimes I will tell him that I noticed that you've been squeezing your face. I'll be like, hey, I've had this squeezing my face. Yeah, it's something off. He didn't even know he was reacting, and then we're like, I don't think so. But then it's like, maybe it's that thing that happened. You know, that is the thing. That's what marriage is. You see, the Bible calls marriage or sex most times knowing your partner, but not just the sex part. Like even the marriage part, it's knowing each other. Knowing, like knowing means that I can tell how you react to a certain situation. I can tell when something is off, right? So that's the kind of knowing that we need to pursue in our marriages, right? So as newlyweds, please try to notice the little things, right, without them having to say it. The next thing that I have here is audit your relationships frequently. And that's, see, I feel like for me and my husband, we do this. Even sometimes we don't necessarily call a meeting, but every now and then, maybe we're talking about something random, we always bring it back to us, bring it back to our marriage, bring it back. So, you know, maybe, I don't know, somebody left the husband on social media, or maybe a woman, or there's a random post on a community or a forum that I belong to. I will share with him, what do you think about it? And then we'll bring it back to our marriage. Those are the ways you audit. It doesn't necessarily mean that. And it's also good too. I mean, I share that, you know, usually during our anniversary, we try to come together, like go through our sexual life, our physical intimacy. Why do I feel everything is physical intimacy? Our career, our, you know, mental health, you know, try to analyze, have I been meeting your needs? Have you been meeting my needs and stuff like that? That's good, but don't wait till the end of the first year to your anniversary to do that. Before then, we always do that, right? Even on phone, every time we're talking about ourselves, how to get better for each other, what we need to do to be better, and all of those things. If he does something I don't like, or I've seen a pattern, I call his attention to it. I notice you've been doing this and that. Do you mind, you know, this is how this makes me feel, and why do you do that, right? And then he explains. Sometimes it goes to fight. You cannot be, maybe that's a different point, and we'll talk about that next, right? And we talk things out. So always audit your relationship. So your emotional health, your love life, your career, your financial health. How is it going? Maybe you guys need to have conversations. When you think something is off, come together. And even when, and most times, and I always say this, it's very important that you have this audit when things are not off, when everything is good, when there is no temper, when people are not upset and all of that. Have this conversation during those periods, because then you're not saying it from a place of, oh, you're trying to attack me, or he's trying to make me feel bad, or whatever. You are coming from, oh, nothing is happening, we are just trying to make our relationship better, right? So when you're fighting is not necessarily a time when you need to start auditing, but when things are good, try to audit your relationship, right? And the next thing I said is, don't be afraid to fight. See, I know a lot of people, I think it was the Nzes, they are Nigerian celebrities, and they're talking about, you know, how the first year of marriage, they wanted to be able to say at the end of their first year that we did not fight our first year. Like that, they wanted that to be their achievement, and they spoke about it, which is a good goal to set. But and what he said started was, you know, 1 week or 1 month of relationship, they noticed that they were sweeping things under the rug. They were, you know, there was always like, you have almost offended me, but I just jump and pass. I just put it in my mind. But you see what that does is it creates resentment towards that person, because guess what, before you know what's happening, because you are not trying to trash out the issue to understand where this is coming from, you start to see that person from the lens of that issue. So maybe the person, I don't know, does not clean the toilet seat and it's been getting to you. Before you know what is happening, you start to see the person as a dirty person, as a person who doesn't care about you and stuff like that, because that's how issues pile up. It comes from little things and then it becomes, you start to attribute it to the personality of the person, right? So you need to make sure that every time you're not sweeping issues, don't be afraid to fight. I remember the first big fight we had.